So, this past Friday, I was fortunate enough to play with my band and my bandmates, where we got to play 3 complete sets on a Friday night. I did not get home until after 1:30 a.m. Saturday morning. And I'm here to tell you, my friend, that a couple of days later, I'm still feeling the pain. I'm still feeling the tiredness. I'm still feeling a little bit of that lethargic because I haven't been able to catch up on my recovery. And at the age of 63, I can tell you, you don't recover as quickly as you did when you were 33 or 23 or, even as a teenager. But I don't regret 1 minute of it, and I would do it again tomorrow. And here's why this matters, and it's not about me, but why it matters to you. So let me preface this first by stating, I've been playing music since I was 7 years old. It's been part of my whole life identity. I've been in bands since I was a teenager, and music has always been there through some of the best times of my life and some of the most darkest times of my life, including when my father got sick when I was 11 years old and then passed away, right through the fact that I was homeless at the age of 17, no fault of my own, and then all the way through my early 20s when I struggled with alcohol working in a corporate environment. I always had music. It was part of my identity. And it is also what gave me strength because it was that identity, and I held on to it tightly. But here's why this really matters, and it's not about me or music. The band, the opportunity to play on a stage and the lights, all of that has value and it's fun and it's enjoyable. But it's a piece of who I am, and when I identify that, it's a wholeness, it's the completeness of me. And so, as music was a major part of my life and my journey throughout my entire life, there was this point when I was 27 years old when I actually had to put it down because I felt that the things in my life were much more driven and important. And that included raising a family, that included working in a corporate environment at that time. And I always thought that, well, maybe I need to put this aside and maybe I'll get back to it one day, right? And looking back at that today, and I'll share a little bit on this in a minute, but looking back at that today, I absolutely regret that decision because it was several years that I had put music down. Even though I played personally at home, I never was connected to it, not like I wanted to be, and not like I used to be. It was still, even though I had a piece to it in me, and I played my instruments at home and, in my little area at home, and I had a tiny studio, but it did not have the value that it did when I was playing full on, even if it was just weekend warriors. It was the fact that I had lost that voice for several years. And it had a major impact on me during that time frame. I was in early recovery. I stopped with alcohol. I put that down, and now I'm starting my journey. And it was at this point where I discovered that it really wasn't something I wanted to do in the corporate world. See, I think that we discover our vocations. I don't think we create them. And I was blessed enough and fortunate enough through my very late 20s that I was able to identify something that I really had a passion with. And that was working in mental health and behavioral health. And I kind of stumbled upon it by accident, but hear me out. So the part of the story that's important is understanding that it is our voice of the things that we love to do that we sometimes put aside because other things take priority. And this is what happened to me for, again, several years. And as I was developing my early career in behavioral health, I will tell you that some of the things that I struggled with, even at that time, making this major career shift, and my son was born, I'm in my early 30s, and a lot of things were happening in life at that time for me. I really could have used having that ability to have that music in my life. I could have used that ability to have it completely a part of who I was. And sadly, I did. I put that down. And I can look back at it today, and I will tell you, I definitely have some regrets about that. But obviously, I had picked it back up, and I got back into it. But the reason I'm sharing this is that how often do we make a decision in our lives to put something down that we loved, something that was part of us, something that we consider a part of our voice? Or if you're 50 or older, how many of those things have you put aside? Was it something you loved to do? Was it woodworking? Did you like making things with your hands? Were you a musician? Did you like playing an instrument? Did you like writing? Did you like to take specific adventures out into the tundra, jumping on one of these things and heading out to the mountains somewhere? Whatever that may be, did you have to put something down because you made a decision to put something else ahead of that piece, that voice of yours, because that became more important. And if you did, I'm here to give you permission to say, please, friend, please revisit that. Because one of the things that I have learned through my 63 years on this earth, and especially as a clinician working behavioral health, I've worked with thousands of people with well over 3 decades of experience in this field. And I can tell you how many men I have come across that have found their inability to find out their wholeness after 50 because it was something they loved to do that they put down. There was one gentleman I worked with, and this wasn't too long ago, and he was an avid fly fisherman. And he struggled with some issues in his life, and by the time he was 52, his marriage was starting to falter. He was making some poor decisions, and there it set in motion a lot of problems with the family dynamics. He ended up getting a divorce, and all through this whole time, there's something that he felt that was part of his voice, part of who he was, he put down because he had all these other things going on in his life. And when I had this conversation with him, I said, what would have happened if you had kept doing that and had it in your life? Do you think things would have been different? And he said that he doesn't know, but he does know that he would have certainly felt better. He would have been able to handle things differently because he had the ability to be whole. He had that thing that was his, that voice. For him, it was fly fishing. Again, for me, it was music. For you, it could be something else completely different, okay? It's that thing that makes us, and we make a decision to put it down. And as a result, it creates a lot of challenges in our lives, and it leaves a void. It leaves this emptiness. And again, through the years of working with so many people and so many men in working in behavioral health, I can say that it is so detrimental when we lose our voice, when we put those things down. It doesn't mean you're not a complete person. It doesn't mean that you're not a father or a husband or a family man or an employee or an employer, a friend, a mentor. Those things are part of your life. But if you enjoyed coaching Little League and you stopped coaching because you wanted to have your family, but that was your passion, it was your voice, because you were good with kids and you were great at that and you loved baseball, and you put that down. Again, I'm sharing another story from somebody from some years ago, and I remember it vaguely, but I remember a good part of it was about how he really missed that ability to give back to young kids, the experiences that he had and his skill sets, and how he really felt that it impacted him later on in life. He did go back to being able to coach, and it took years for him to kind of get back into the swing of it. But the real point here is that he missed this part of his life. He wasn't whole. And he feels that some of the challenges that he faced at that time were as a result of the fact that he didn't have this wholeness in him, that he could do the things that he loved to do. So I don't know what you enjoy doing that you have made a decision to put down, but I'm here to tell you right now, please, my friend, understand this. You have permission to pick it back up again and to reinvent yourself with that voice once again by becoming that person who does what you love to do. Again, whatever that might be, whatever that hobby, that thing that you love to do, please know that that is who you are. It's the wholeness of us as people. We all have things that we love to do. We all have those things that just make us feel like a full, complete person. And if you have put something down because you think life is taking a different route for you and you have to put that to the side and that one day you're going to pick it back up again. Again, I'm speaking from somebody who put music down for several years, and looking back at it now at 63, I can tell you that if I had kept music in my life at that time, some of my transitions and challenges I faced, again, I was in my late 20s, I was in early recovery, I put alcohol down, and I had some major family changes because I was now married, I was having, my son was born, there was a whole lot of changes in my life, and I wish I had that with me at that time, because it would have made some of that journey feel a little bit more full, at least for me, because I would have had another way of being able to express me, who I am as a person. And if you have something that you want to do and you're 50 or older, friend, I'm going to tell you right now, please pursue it. This beast right here that I'm standing next to, this ATV, I picked this up 5 years ago. And I had always wanted to buy one of these throughout my entire life. I always had an adventurous spirit. I loved being in the woods. I loved enjoying the ability to get out there into nature. I loved hiking. I loved camping. I loved just being outdoors. And something like this was like having your own mini tank that can take you into the middle of the tundra and being lost. And for years, I made a decision a long time ago that I wasn't going to do this because I had a family and I had commitments, and it was an expense, and it was something that it wasn't practical. At least that's what I thought at the time. And as of now, 5 years ago, when I picked this up, it was one of the best things I ever did for myself. And again, if I could have gone back and had the opportunity to do this, I would have found a way, because if it was something that meant a value to me and it made me a whole person, then it was something that I really should have pursued. It doesn't mean I'm negating my responsibilities. I'm not going to not pay the mortgage because I'm buying an expensive ATV. I'm still going to have those elements in my life, but I'll figure a way out on how to put this into my life. And even if it was renting it on, once a month and going out into the weekend warrior things and having some fun with it, maybe that would have been the opportunity. I don't know. I didn't take it. I waited until 5 years ago before I decided to buy one of these and then take off, and I've been riding ever since. And I'm here to say, friend, once again, if you have something in your life that you A, made a decision to put down, or B, an interest to do or pursue, please give yourself that permission and pursue it. I work with so many people, and I work with a ton of men like you and I having this conversation that have the inability to be able to express fully what they want to do in their lives because they put stuff like this aside. And I've created actual community just for us to be able to connect because of these things in our lives, to having that loss of who we are, that full completeness in our voice. So that community is called the Tiger's Den. And what I do in that community is people like you and I, 50 and older, sharing our experiences and our strength and our hope with each other, and learning how to regain our voice and how to reclaim our voice and to pick up some new things that we always wanted to do, but we didn't do because of a host of reasons. You today, my friend, have the permission to be able to do this. And you have the permission for yourself to be that whole person. And again, if it's something you always wanted to do, well, here's an opportunity. In fact, I look forward to you. If this is what you like doing and you want to come out riding, I would love to meet with you and connect with you and go out into the woods and go out and do some riding and camping. So with all that being said there, my friend, if you found any value in this channel, we have a lot of videos that are going forward with this. When I say we, my son and I, who run Tiger Resilience, we work on health, fitness, as well as behavioral health. And we have a construct that we follow in the Tiger Resilience brand, and is known as the actual resilience, 5 pillars of resilience. And they are developed over the past 35 years that I developed them, starting back in the early 90s. And I have been very diligent in putting this together, and it's become a way of life for many people. And we follow the 4 core domains of the human condition. That's the body, the mind, the heart, and the spirit. My son is a physical fitness fanatic, but he's a trainer as well, an elite runner, and very big into nutrition and health and wellness. And I do all the behavioral health pieces to it. So together, him and I create this whole construct, this whole complement, if you would say, together. And that is what the brand of Tiger Resilience is. But this channel here, Silver Warrior's Journey, is about us with silver, and we're warriors, and we are on our journey working together. And this specific group I'm talking about, this access group with the Tiger's Den, is for people like you and I, the Silver Warrior's Journey, pursuing our passions, pursuing the things we want to do in our life, being able to discuss and figure out the things and the shit that went wrong and how do we fix it, how do we move past some of the challenges. And again, it could be loss, it could be divorce, it could be a host of things, jobs. How many people right now in their 50 plus as a result of AI have lost their jobs or been fearful of losing their jobs and know that hammer is coming down pretty soon, and the fear that instills. You can reinvent your life at any moment, friend. I am here to tell you that firsthand, that I'm here standing on this earth because of the fact that I got my head off the pillow today. And that's because I knew I always had the chance to reinvent my life, as you do with yours. So once again, if you'd like to join me, I'm going to have a link below in the description for the Tiger's Den, as well as a little bit about us and who we are, and as well as myself and what I do specifically here in the Silver Warriors Journey channel. I really look forward to an opportunity to be able to connect with you. Please consider leaving a comment so I can have that engagement with you. I respond to every person who reaches out to me, and we love to have that kind of connection and content. If you also have an opportunity to want to share your voice, share your experience, strength, and hope, and you'd be interested in joining me on my podcast, please see the link below as well. You'll have information on there, and I'd love to talk to you about joining me on my podcast. If you are 50 and older and you have this wisdom of life and experience, which you do have just almost by default, I would love an opportunity to be able to connect with you there too as well. Please consider subscribing to this channel so you don't lose any of the things that we have working forward, going into our next video and following. This is a new channel. We have a lot of ambition with it and a lot of ideas, but we'd love to hear from you. Please consider subscribing, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. You are a Silver Warrior. Please enjoy your journey today, and I'll be talking with you soon. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.